Hello everybody, my name is Joe Bishop with Drivetrain Joe's. I've got a 4L60E here out of a Chevrolet pickup that I was going to rebuild. And I was wanting to make some videos not only on me building this transmission and showing you how to do it, but also on the components and what they do and what they're supposed to do. So if you don't already know, between the transmission and the engine is this magical piece right here called a torque converter. Now, a lot of people don't understand what they do. The torque converter is actually bolted to the engine, the flywheel or flex plate of the engine. So when the engine is turning, this whole assembly is actually rotating. Okay. I've got one here that I've cut apart. It's not the one out of that. I got to turn it in as a core. So I didn't cut it open on the 4L60E, but just want to show you that anytime the engine is turning, this whole body is turning. The other side of the torque converter goes to your input shaft of your transmission. Actually, well, where'd I put it? Right here. So it can turn, the input shaft can turn without the whole body turning. Let me show you how. So this one I've took apart. It's off a Ford C6. The whole body is called a torque converter. Why do they call it that? It's kind of weird. Well, let me show you. Let's bring it in here. So this would be bolted to the engine right here, 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 and here. So anytime the engine's turning, the whole body's turning. Inside of here, you got this piece right here that is called the turbine. And if you look on the back side, it's got these fins cut into it, and then some on the inside, outside, inside. That's the turbine. The next thing we get to is called the stator. I'll explain that in a minute. And then we've got the impeller, and it's got fins on it. So these fins on the impeller are welded to the body of it. So anytime the engine's turning, the impeller is turning. So this is a good way to explain this. Imagine that this fan that's plugged into the wall is my impeller. So it's my engine. So it's going to spin this whole body. And as it spins, I'm going to turn it on low. As it spins, that fan begins to spin even though it's unplugged. Okay? This fan on my left is what we call the turbine. So the engine is turning the impeller and it's causing the turbine to spin. The turbine is what has the input shaft of the transmission. So in other words, guys, the fan that's plugged in is my impeller. The fan that ain't plugged in is my turbine. And the more I get it, if I turn it on fast, it's going to throw more air over there, and it's going to cause that one to move with more force. It's exactly what's going on inside your torque converter right here, except instead of air, it's fluid. So let's take another look. You got your impeller, which is the fan. You got the part I ain't talked about yet, the stator, and then the turbine's going right down in there, which is free to move independently of the whole body. Right? So when you rev your car up or you give it some gas, you cause this body to spin faster which slings more oil over onto your turbine, and which is connected to the input shaft of the transmission. Then your transmission begins to turn. Yep. So what does this do then? The stator? Well, the reason they call it a torque converter is it has a multiplying effect. So as the oil flings out of these fins, just imagine oil. This thing's turning with the engine. It's sending oil out. The oil's gonna hit that and cause it to turn, which has got the input shaft on. Okay? But as the oil travels through here, it gets redirected. It's going that way, then it goes that way. It's kind of weird. And what it does is it hits the stator and it runs down through here, which means it comes out over here and it throws the oil back into the engine rotation. So you get the multiplying effect. This stator only moves one way. I'm going to put it where it goes. There we go. I can rotate it one way, but I can't the other. Rotate, locked. Rotate, locked. Okay? That piece don't move, it's stationary. So most of the time your stator's just sitting there and the oil's going back into the impeller and it's giving it a boost. It's sending the oil back in the direction. It's helping you get some momentum to get started. After you're going really, really fast, you're going down the road and let's pretend you let off the gas, your engine is barely creeping like this fan. But this might be going very, very fast because your wheels are still turning. When this is the case, the oil from the turbine is slinging the oil to the stator, except this time it can rotate because it's only go one way, so it's going the opposite way, which actually doesn't increase the torque. It decreases the torque where you can have engine braking. So the engine will slow down as you come to a stop. When you finally come to a stop, you put your foot on your brake, all of a sudden, man, the input shaft can no longer turn. So the only choice is to give it more gas and sling more oil, or let off the brake. And when you let off the brake, guess what? It's coupled again, except with oil. I hope that helps explain the mysteries of a torque converter. Again, my name's Joe Bishop. Be sure to hit like. Thank you.